What's up, guys? Flippin' Steve here, back with another video, and it's been a while and we're getting people entered for the national giveaway, so make sure you watch this video all the way through and comment below. And in today's video I'm going to talk about certain factors that may drive up the value of a card, and in specific a card that I bought recently that went up in value over the past couple weeks, and that kind of like sparked the idea for this video because I'm curious as to why, and I think that there's multiple factors. And so I'm going to dive into different things that could have caused this card and maybe other cards, something that you may own, to go up in value. And the first thing I want to talk about is the pump. All right, so sometimes you just got to pump. Your cards and values will increase, but to check the pump, you just look at the gauge. Anyway, guys, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to talk about pump because that's just a term that people kind of use liberally and loosely, and I don't necessarily always think that the word pump or being pumped can apply to like inflation of something. It can apply to like excitement. For example, you say, hey, I'm going on vacation, I'm pumped, I'm ready to go. It means you're excited. It doesn't mean that your vacation is pumped up in value and everybody should go on vacation now because it's the time to do it. It just means that you're excited. Now, one of the main things that excitement can cause, and it can cause someone to talk about a card that they recently purchased. Like the card that I purchased, I talked about on Off Center with Dustin. It could talk about someone to post it on Instagram, to show it off. And a lot of times when you show off your cards, it'll bring awareness. And someone would be like, well, daggone, I think that's a cool card too. I like it. And if it's say for instance, a rare card, it doesn't take much for something to fluctuate in price, which in this case, the card that I'm talking about, I think multiple things happen, and I'm going to tell you, and I want you guys to be the judge and comment below. What do you think is the main factor in the card that I'm talking about, that I'm going to show going up in value? Whether it's hype, whether it's news, whether it's awareness, someone talking about it, and then someone just being like, dag, I would like that card too. Whether it's a collectible or whether they think it's something that's going to go up in value in the future. In my case, it was a card that I bought to collect. So even though it's seen a 60% increase in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, mine's not for sale. So let's go ahead and talk about the card and exactly some of the examples that I'm also talking about. So the card that I'm talking about, and if you saw Off Center the other night, you are aware of this card, is a 2022 Immaculate Dual On-Card Auto of Hulk Hogan and the Iron Sheik. This card just brings back so many memories of me watching Hulk Hogan when I was growing up. And number one, when he won the title in 1984 at Madison Square Garden from the Iron Sheik, when I didn't even know who Hulk Hogan was, but it made me become an instant fan. And it takes me back to my grandparents' living room. And I just remember it like it was yesterday. And that house has been sold because my grandparents passed away a couple years ago. So it gives me a memory of a place that I'll never be able to physically go back to. So it gives me a mental point in time where I can go back and actually place myself there. So this card to me was important, and I talked about the importance of this card to me on Off Centered the other night. I even got a little bit emotional about it. But some other things that have popped up is this card has also been talked about by Card Collector 2, who posted the 1-of-1 version of this. Now again, this one's out of 25, but the 1-of-1 version of this, he posted on Instagram and talk about how he bought the card. He didn't know much about the rivalry, but someone told him the story of Hulk Hogan and the Iron Sheik and the history behind them, and he thought it was a good purchase because of that, and he bought it for different reasons. Basically, that card was sold to him as, as basically someone gave him a sales pitch, described to him the significance of the card. To me, it was a memory. I lived it, I knew it, and that's why I bought it. So two different people buying a card for two different reasons. However, they both saw some sort of significance in the card, and his post is on Instagram. I'm sure you guys follow him. In fact, I think this is probably the first time I've ever even mentioned him in a video. The other thing, the sad news that the Iron Sheik actually passed away a couple days ago, and I had mentioned to Neo and Dustin, I'm sure you guys know who those weirdos are, in an Instagram message that this card had gone up in value, and Neo was like, yeah, well, the Iron Sheik did just pass away, and that may be true, that may have played a part, and it's not always just the fact that someone may have passed away as much as it put them in the news and brought awareness again. Another way that awareness was brought to someone, even though it was in a sad situation, in a poor light, sometimes people ask, does someone passing away cause their card values to go up? I can't really say that it does, and I can't really say that that's what it was in this case. Now, it does have the indirect effect that you will be in the news. People will make awareness or have awareness, but I also think that Hulk Hogan is really the driving force of this card, and the fact that, you know, the rarity of the card with it being their only dual auto, and now something that people are maybe looking for, you know, the supply and demand sort of weighs into effect when it's serial numbered out of 25. There is a 1 of 1, but there's not even any other options out there if you want an autograph with these two on it from the card aspect. The other thing could be, is there a sudden popularity or growth in wrestling cards? I'm not really sure. This is the only wrestling card that I own, and so when you start talking about genre of cards and genres of cards or a certain type of sport or card becoming popular, that's where you can get into like a pump and maybe people saying, oh, wrestling cards are going up, wrestling cards are getting popular, get them now. And I'm not really sure if that's the case. I don't follow the market on wrestling cards. Like I said, this card I came across and I had to have it. But again, that could be also a slight factor. So when you take and you add everything together, you know, multiple things, whether it be myself talking about it in a live stream or showing it in a video, a big time presence in the sports hobby like Card Collector 2 talking about a card. You talk about the Iron Sheik being in the news and generating, you know, a little bit of hype around his name and around wrestling. And you also talk about the possibility that wrestling cards are gaining popularity. I think it's multiple small things that add up into a bigger snowball that may have caused a card like this to go up. I bought this a couple weeks ago for $477 at auction. One just ended last night for, I believe, $820 in the $820 ballpark. Mine's not for sale. If I bought this for a quick flip, it would be on eBay right now. In fact, mine is number 9 out of 25. You won't find it anywhere but in my collection, but maybe somebody else out there has theirs for sale. And the only reason I knew another one was for sale is because I was kind of interested in purchasing another one. But a little too high now for my liking, you know, when I'm going to put it into my PC. But let me know what you guys think below. Make sure you're commenting and following. What do you guys think? Multiple things. Do you like wrestling cards? What do you think was the main driving factor in this card really seeing a boost in value? It's hard to say because when a card, again, is very limited, it doesn't take much for the prices to really fluctuate. The next one could come out at auction and go for $400. You never know. So comment below what you think. And remember, we're working towards the national giveaway. You got to get your comments in because you never know when your comment may be selected to get you entered to win that trip. All right, guys, thanks for viewing. Like and subscribe on your way out. I'm Flippin' Steve, and I'll see you next time.